Do we need proteins? Can I get fit without to take any? Can I lose weight without to take proteins? Why are all the gym bros taking a lot of protein powders? Are protein toxic for the kidneys? Hello everyone, I'm Coach K and today we're going to talk about a very controversial topic, the proteins. You probably guessed it. Are you the kind of person who said in the past, I will never eat any proteins? I don't eat proteins, I'm vegan? Proteins are toxic for your body? If the answer to any of these questions is yes, then this video is really made for you. What if I tell you that in order to lose weight, you need to consume the right amount of protein? But the first question is, what exactly is proteins when most people believe that it's toxic, or it's meat, or it's something they shouldn't eat? The first answer is the most important. So let's discover what are the proteins. The roles of protein in your body. Everyone already heard about proteins, and I'm sure that many of you will think like, I don't want to take any. I don't want to consume proteins. Some people asked me in the past if my transformation was natural or due to proteins. Yes, sounds like steroids, right? Should proteins be considered at the same level as drugs? Is it as toxic as people believe it is? Many people believe that protein can kill your kidneys. I think it is time to break some myths. For this, let's start with the fun fact. Every one of you is eating protein. That's a fact. Some of the people could say, no, I'm not eating any proteins, I'm vegan or I'm vegetarian. But they do, this is for sure. You can't survive if you don't eat proteins. Proteins are part of the macronutrients, which means that they are part of your food. Your body needs proteins every day in order to keep on working. Some of you will consider that proteins means meat. It is only partially true. The truth is that meat is protein, yes, but the opposite ain't true necessarily. You can have some vegetarian proteins or even some vegan ones. Just to name a few, fish, meat, chicken are animals' proteins. Below that we have the vegetarian proteins, where you can add the eggs and the milk, by example. And then we have the vegan ones, the nuts, the seeds, the legumes, and also some sorts of cereals. Of course, that is only a few because we have seaweeds and others, so I don't want to name all of them in this video. But why eating proteins? The reason is very simple, because it's one of the main ingredients of your body constitution. Your skin is made of protein, your muscles, your organs, and also some of your hormones. Now you start to understand that asking me if my body transformation was natural or due to proteins didn't make any sense. You can chill out. Proteins are neither drugs or poison. In contrario, proteins are part of your good health requirements. To conclude this video, you can remember this. Proteins are key elements to build and regenerate muscles, maintain your immune system, regulate your mood and avoid depression, maintain the digestive system, transport oxygen, and maintain your hormonal system. That is why you need to consume proteins. Now that we discovered that proteins are super important for our diet, we have another problem, because we all know that proteins are toxic for your kidneys, right? Well, let's have a look at that logic and maybe bust another myth. Proteins and kidneys. You know that I like to bust the different myths about nutrition. In this video I will try to break another one. How many times didn't I heard, be careful, protein will kill your kidneys. But if there is one thing that we know about myths, is that they are often based on a truth. This case is not an exception. Let's find out which part is correct and which part is wrong. An excess of protein is hard for your kidney to deal with. Well, an excess of anything is never a good point. An excess of protein tends to acidify your blood. And that's a big issue because hyperacidity of your blood have some bad consequences for your body. Your blood is supposed to be basic and not acid. But when it goes there, it starts to attack your kidneys and also your bones, your joints, and much more. It also prevents your bone from regeneration. It becomes then a playground for cancer, inflammations, injuries, osteoporosis, arthrosis, and much more. In resume, we can say that yes, the proteins can kill your kidneys, but only if you abuse of it and if you destroy your blood balance acidity. And what is that blood pH balance? Well, meat, cereals, sugar, dairies, they tend to create acidity. When on the other side, vegetables, fruits, and roots or some nuts like almonds, walnuts, and much more, they have a tendency to fight the acidity. Wait, what? Does that mean that I can have a bad blood pH balance without consuming proteins? Yes, if you are eating too much of animal products, dairies, cereals, sugar, and that kind of products, then yes, your blood will acidify. So, in resume, balancing your blood pH will help you to save your kidneys.
Stop! I know that protein powders are bad for your kidneys. It has been proved with the trend of Dukan diets.
Yes, I know. The Dukan diet was very bad, and that trend brings a lot of issues with health for many people. Some people needed some surgery and they had some need of dialysis because of their kidneys dysfunction. But we already talked about that topic as the Dukan diet was bad, proposing to replace the meals by protein shakes. And now you all know that you should never do that. But again, we can say that the issue is the disbalance. I know there can be another reason for the protein shakes to be unhealthy. Let's compare your body to a machine one more time. But this time we would compare it to a dishwashing machine. If you are using a liquid soap, you will less likely have some residues on your glasses. If you are using powders, you will need more water in order to rinse it off. And here it is absolutely the same with your body. If you are drinking protein powders, then you should be sure to drink more water in order to be sure to rinse your kidneys off. And then one more time you understand that this issue is more linked to your disbalance of blood acidity or hydration than linked to the protein themselves. You should really pay attention to your kidneys because they are a very important organ in your body. But keep in mind to avoid shortcuts creating some wrong informations. Respect your food balance, drink enough, sleep enough, and then everything will be fine. Like you can see, it's always tricky to unravel the right from the wrong. Fitness on itself already suffers from plenty of myths. And unfortunately, many of these myths are concerning the proteins. People in general believe that proteins are either toxic or bad for their kidneys. Is that true or is that another bias? And you, what is your take about protein powders? Do you consume any? Is it safe to do so? Well, the answer is here. Protein powders. We are now facing a sensitive topic. Most of people have a very bad opinion on protein powders. Many people consider it poisoning, while some others consider it as the same level as a drug. But what is it exactly? If we take the example from the whey protein coming out of the milk. The milk is microfiltered in order to isolate the protein from the rest of it, the sugar, lactose, and the cholesterol. In this way, only the protein remains. Let's take a few seconds to think about it. Does that mean that protein powders are a processed food? Yes, it does. Protein powders are processed food. But what makes processed food so bad? In most of the cases, we avoid processed food because they contain hidden sugar, fats, or bad ingredients. Is that the same here? Well, no, it's not. But then, what is the difference? This product is made for sportsmen. Clearly, if it makes you gain fat, you will stop that product because it doesn't work for your objectives. Of course, like any other product you can eat, if you go for cheap, you might find some troubles. And if you go for good quality, you will have less. In order to keep it as cheap as possible, the companies will mix it with sugar. And that is, of course, not what you want. Having a quality product will ensure you to have less sugar in it, and also less artificial aroma and this kind of additives that you don't want in your food. But then, altogether, protein powders, is it so bad for your health? No, it's not. But to answer this question, let me ask you another question. Yeah, I know it's not very polite, but that's how I am. Here is my question. I want to make you really think about it. Do you think that this kind of ingredients deserve a place in your kitchen? I give you 5 seconds to answer it. Take your time. If you answered yes, then you're right. It deserves a place in your kitchen. I don't want to give you the answer myself, so I want you to answer another question. Let's think about 2 similar products that are already inside your cupboards. Okay, I give you 10 seconds. During this time, you need to find and name 2 products that could already be present inside your cupboards. Did you find the answer? Well, perhaps in your kitchen you already have vinegar, you already have some oils. They are processed food. Of course, some of them are more natural than some others. Then you might have some cocoa powder, and if you have the most famous brands, you can be sure that most of it is sugar. You also might have some flour, like wheat or others, and you might have the worst of all, the sugar powder. All of these are processed food. And while the protein powders bring some upside for your health, the sugar powder doesn't bring any positive aspect, no positive value. If we take the example of the flour, you might think like, yeah, it's not processed food. Well, yes, it is. It is some cereals that has been crushed and where they removed the skin. So basically, they took one part of the product and remove it from the rest. That's the definition of a processed food. What is funny is that for many of the products inside your kitchen, You never ask yourself any question. You accept them because they are part of the marketing things you can see on TV, so you consider normal to have them at home. But when it comes to protein, you start to think, oh, but that's not natural, that's processed food and all this. But if you take in one hand a bag of sugar, in the other one a bag of wheat flour, yeah, the wheat flour is better. But then if you take wheat flour in one hand and protein powder in the other one, which one is better for your health? Well, you got it. Protein. Protein is healthier. The white flour is almost only sugar because they removed all the benefits from the cereals. They are present in the skin. As they removed the skin, then you have only the sugary part that stays in your package of flour. I'm not saying that the whey protein, the one from milk, are the best. I'm just saying that if you have at home some products that are like sugar, flour and all this, you shouldn't consider protein with arrogance. It's like a product that could be a good tool, a good ally for your body transformation. And keep in mind that these proteins can also be vegan. You can take some vegan proteins, and that's what I recommend personally. If you need to remember something from this video, would be that at home you have some product in your cupboards that shouldn't be there necessarily, like biscuits, waffles, crepes, all these, and even like sugar and sugar syrups and fake honey. But that, in your opinion, is fine when protein powders are bad. Well, if you needed to choose between those two categories, choose the protein powder and you will be in a better health. That's it for today's video. This video was made from 3 of the clips we use for our nutrition learning course or diet called From Fat to Fit. And we have around 120 videos on that topic, all the topics you need to change in order to get fit. So I hope you liked the video, I hope you learned something new, and if you need to have more free information about it, you can have a look to the link below the video in the description, and you will find there some extra information such as what happens if you abuse of proteins, what happens if you don't consume any, this kind of extra information in picture that we designed it for the learning course. And for you, it's completely free. Give it a try. It's on Coach Corner, your free information hub about fitness. And I will see you in the next video.